you have so many years of experience, right from 28 years to this year. How do you summarize your teaching experience?
I should summarize my teaching experience in one sentence. I have learned so much from my students. Normally, teachers drown under the arrogance that we have taught our children. I have taught so many students. Yeah, but I have learned so much from them. It is my students who taught me how to teach properly. Every moment the student teaches the teacher. If he is careless, he will not learn. When you are teaching in the class, students look up to you like this, mouth open, and they feel bad. When the bell rings, they are telling you your class is good, man, they are doing well. When they start looking at the watch and exchange glances and the fellow is not closing still, the bell is not ringing, you can make out on the face of the children that you are not doing a good job. Go back and introspect. They are teaching you how to teach. Go back and think over that class. Students are so ecstatic in the class. What did I do? I should do the same thing every class. They are teaching you how to teach. Students have taught me that. I am great. In fact, my first book, Karunadu Bavilake, I had to do the dedication. I have not done it for my mother or my father or anybody else. First volume dedicated to my students, who showed me how to savor the joys and tears of teaching career to the full. I learned so much. I love my students. As a test, you can put 1,000 people in auditorium and put 2 of my students somewhere else. I may not know the name, but I can recognize these 2 of my students. And I taught for 45 years now. I enjoy being there.
What were the challenges you being as a teacher?
Challenge is only to fight with myself. How can I be better than yesterday? Students, I never pose challenge to me. Students are not a trouble to me. I never seen a bad student in my life. I have seen bad teachers. We don't prepare ourselves so well. We don't prepare thoroughly. And I don't come down to the level of the student. I expect them to come up. I expect students to adjust to my teaching style. It is absolutely disastrous. I should change my style to suit the needs of the students. All concepts we had earlier, teacher will teach in his own standard way and children have to adapt to him. Why? If I am talking to the audience, yesterday I was talking to them and every day I do it. It is my job to see that the talk is interesting. Is it not right? If they are feeling bored and start getting up and walking out, it means, oh my God, you are wasting your time. They are telling me. I go and complain, audience in that town was bad. Audience cannot be bad. You could not relate yourself to them. Same is true with teaching. I never found a bad student. I found inadequacies in me which I needed correction. And even today, when I go in the class to teach, first 5 seconds I love butterflies in my stomach even now. Only question is, do I rise up to the expectation of the students or not? I taught at different levels, from rural area in Bidar, Aurad Taluk, to Harvard Business School. Every classroom before I entered and give butterflies in my stomach. Is not worrying. That healthy tension is useful. You know that in stress there are 2 stress, eustress and distress. Eustress is required. Eustress is one which promotes you to perform better, pushes you. Distress means you can't do, you cease. Eustress is always good, I carry it. Enjoy being there. After 45 years, in New York television when they interviewed me, they asked me, if there is any opportunity for you to change your previous part of life, this life, what would you like to change? I said, nothing, not even a comma. I did everything consciously and I loved whatever I did. If I made something wrong, yes, I did it. Something good I have done, fine, I'm happy about it. No regrets. I want to die unsatisfied.
The biggest concern the teachers are facing is one, the shortage of the attendance, and second thing is that what do you call this? The interaction between the teacher and students is narrowing down.
The reason, again, I come back to teaching only. See, for example, I say students do not fail, teachers fail. I became controversial by saying it. Imagine your car doesn't start in the morning, or a motorbike doesn't start in the morning. You go on kicking it, doesn't start. You take it to the garage. You say, leave it for 2 days. I'll thoroughly war on you. You go the third day. He gives your car key or a motorbike and say, now it is okay, you can take it. They are happy about it. But if he says, what motorcycle, sir, does not start at all. You tell him, you fellow, I brought it because it doesn't start. If it were to start properly, why should I bring it to garage? You kept it for 2 days and cannot repair it, therefore I'll go to another garage. Am I right? Same thing applies to teachers also. You understand? I taught for the whole year. The fellow did not understand. I reverse the question. How did you teach for the whole year so that he can't understand? You understand?
Yeah.
The reason is I am saying that I am okay, they are not okay. That's not fair. That's absolutely not fair. It's not fair. It's my duty to come down to the level of the child. Sometimes you have to go up to the level of the students also. It's my ability. So when the student is sitting in the class, he or she declares that I do not know, that's why I come into your class. If they knew already, why would they be in my class? And why are they missing your classes? They don't think it's worth it. Very simple. They don't get anything out of it. The class should be exciting, interesting, and informative. If you can be replaced by Google, there's no point in your living there. I always quote this example of a person called Narsimurthy, who is a professor of mathematics in Government Science College, Bangalore. It was a notorious college at that time. Notorious. All student strikes will start from there. Vagabonds. Oh, you can't believe it. All present leaders are from the products of Government Science College.
Which place, sir?
Bangalore, Government
Okay.
Science College.
Okay.
Notorious. And a teacher is not behaving or to be suspended, they'll transfer him to that college. It was like a concentration camp. No teacher wanted to go there. It was an insult to them saying the Government Science College teacher. But there was one fellow called Narsimurthy who was there for 9 years, was not transferred. But they never asked for transfer. Nobody would go to that college. And he was there, let him be there, if he really asked. I went on an inspection for that college. I know Narsimurthy will stay very close to my college. He'll come to me. Thin fellow, so delicate. Perhaps a big wind will take him away. That kind of thing. Very soft spoken. I wondered how would he survive in Government Science College? When I went for the inspection, I asked the principal, how is Narsimurthy? Oh, forget it, sir. He is a different person altogether. What do you mean different person? His classes are always full. Let me go. I just walked in the corridor. Narsimurthy taking a class. His class was supposed to have 60 students. We had 100 plus students in the class. Can you believe the college students in Bangalore? Sitting on the floor between the two benches. Sitting on the windowsill. Sitting on the platform there. Excepting for a little place required to move around near the blackboard, therefore. I asked Narsimurthy, ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸು? ತುಂಬ ಗಲಾಟೆ ಅಂತೆ. ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ನನಗೆ. ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋದು. ನೋಡ್ರಪ್ಪ, ಯಾರು ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ರು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಗಲಾಟೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋಗೋದು ಹೋಗಿ. But nobody would go. You teach maths so well and affection personified. ಮುಂದೆ ಕೂತಂತ ಹುಡುಗ ನೀನು ಕೂತಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನಿಗೆ. When he finds the eyebrows knotted, he will make out that the fellow is not understood. He will go with a very sweet, affectionate man, hold his cheek in his hand. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೂ, ಕೇಳೋ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಥರನೇ. I tell you, students should touch his feet. Move in the corridor along with him. He was like a Pied Piper. He would not shout at anybody. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಹೋಗೋದಿದ್ರು ಗದ್ದಲ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಬೇರೆ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ. Now tell me, how can you call students back? A cow or even a buffalo will not go to a cement area where there is no blade of grass. It will search and go to a grazing area where there is a green grass. If you are a cement concrete, why we expect the people to come? It should be a grazing grass, then people will come. Buffalo knows it. Cannot our students know?